broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege. Privilege.
Yeah, Dobson jumping around the octagon. AJ Dobson, that is, as he gets ready to take on Edmund Shabazian. And man, we need this one. We need this one. 5-5 through 10 fights. Absolutely ridiculous. Shabazian putting his hands up like he's about to do something. Hopefully not. Mark Smith is going to ref this thing. Let's go. I like Mark Smith. So UFC Vegas 89, Edmund Shabazian, AJ Dobson getting ready to throw down. And this is going to be an interesting fight. As pretty much every fight tonight's been interesting, including the fight that took place earlier in the night. It's crazy stuff. That fighter's now gone from the UFC. And already Shabazian trying to land the leg kicks. Dobson very powerful with the punches. So it's going to be kind of a back and forth here. Shabazian's going to attempt a takedown at some point here in the first round as well. Come on, Dobson, keep him off of you. Oof, those leg kicks. Come on, Dobson, keep swinging now. Every 5 seconds, tap, tap. Let's go. Yeah, and I don't know if Dobson's going to be able to trade with the leg kicks. He's going to have to keep swinging up top. And it seems like he's stronger there, but Shabazian continues to come forward. Clearly wants to land the leg kicks. 1 minute gone. Oof. Come on, Dobson. Get it going. You're looking a little jittery. Dobson is looking a little jittery. It's not good. That right hand is something serious, but he's not really close. But it's like if he connects. Oh, he caught him. Okay, Dobson. Ooh, now he lands a knee and a left coming out. Come on, you got him right now. Go. AJ's got him. He just got to go. Oh, my goodness. And Dobson gives up the takedown right here. You got to be kidding me. He had Edmund. Yeah, you better get up quick. Now Edmund's got the back. Dobson rolls out of it. Now he gets on top. Okay. Man, Dobson was better served staying on the feet, man. And now he finds himself on the ground. He's up 15-10 in significant strikes early. But yeah, this gives Shabazian a chance to recover. I mean, Dobson caught him. Now he gets a second chance. And a couple elbows here by Edmund. 2 rights responded by Dobson. Edmund with the full guard. And Dobson has really no chance to get the full mount right here. It doesn't appear. And this completely favors Edmund, even though he's on his back. You know, he landed a takedown, took the back, and just lost position. But before that, he was in trouble. He was in a lot of trouble and worked his way through it. 125 left here, round 1. And now if you're Dobson, you want to break free. and go to work. And Edmund's looking for the takedown. Ooh. Edmund's relentless. You know, he's not scared of the clinch, the ground. And that's his key to victory here. Okay, they finally separate here. 1 minute left in a round. Let's see what happens. Ooh, nice right by Dobson. Let's go. Let's go. And I wonder if earlier when he caught Shabazian and Shabazian started. Oh, Edmund lands a left. AJ Dobson's in trouble. Come on, AJ. No. Oh, Edmund just turned the tables fast, and it's going to be stopped. Look at this, dude. This guy, bro. This guy. Edmund Shabazian's going to move to 13-4. And he just took over this fight in the last 15 seconds, and Dobson covers up, and that's it. And Dobson lost the opportunity that he had early in the round. Shabazian 13-4 now. He ended up leading 32-20 in significant strikes. Amazing. One takedown to nothing. And the bottom line is he just shifted the momentum very quickly. And we get the replay here. Starts with the jab. Dobson lands a big right. Oh, this is going back earlier, yeah, when Dobson had the opportunity. Oh, my goodness. Boom. Dobson had him. Look at that. Look at that. Unbelievable. And Edmund just flipped it, man. Literally in 9 or 10 seconds, he just finishes the fight. Unbelievable. And finishes it. I mean, finishes it. So that's a big win here for Edmund Shabazian in the middleweight division at UFC Vegas 89. Unreal. Unreal. And that's just the beginning. We got 2 other big ones coming up. And listen, I'm willing to break the trend tonight and go straight to finishes. Just 3 straight finishes tonight. Let's get this thing in and out in 45 minutes. It never happens. We've had decisions after decisions, and finally we get one here. It didn't go our way, though. But at least we get a finish here with Edmund Shabazian, who gets to win in the first round via KO. I don't know how you could say that's a TKO. That's a KO. But listen, stay tuned. We're coming back after this quick break. Now, during the break, you're going to hear a lot about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. It's big news this week. It started out with the comments we made, and then a lot of back and forth in the comment section in different places. So you'll see that through the Q&A and then the second break. But getting to the first break, you'll also see the prediction for Carl Williams, who fights next. That's going to be an interesting fight. And then, of course, later, Rose Namajunas and Amanda Ribas in the main event. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
You remember when Hamza finished Mearshart in 17 seconds? Nobody wants to talk about that now. At the time, it was like, oh, Mearshart isn't a good fighter. Hamza should run through him. Right? Every time Hamza wins, the opponent is dismissed. Or if he doesn't win big enough, then people want to highlight the other, he should have beat Usman quicker. He struggled against Burns, all this stuff. But let's get back to Mearshart. 17 seconds, right? This guy ties Anderson Silva in the middleweight division for the most finishes. He was 6th in UFC history in submissions. He's probably moving up to 5th or 4th now. So, come on. Give Hamza a little credit here and give Mearshart credit for doing what he did last night. I mean, give credit where credit's due. If you're going to go the other way on Hamza's other fights, at least give him credit in this one. First, you got all these guys, UFC fighters now wanting to get into boxing. I mean, it's crazy. Francis Ngannou was the next wonder boy of boxing until he got KO'd by Joshua. Now it's like, what's next? You might as well give up boxing. I mean, UFC fighters are not boxers. And all of you that want to see this stuff take place and really think that UFC fighters are going to go in there in boxing and beat professional boxers, because it's not going to happen because the skills are limited. There's no takedowns. There's no clinch. As soon as you touch each other, the ref breaks you up. It's not like a real fight. It's boxing. In a real fight, if someone clinches you up, hey, there's no one there to say, time, break you all up. It's not going to happen. So UFC fighters are at a clear disadvantage because their skills are thrown out the window. And now they're just limited to striking. And Francis Ngannou can strike, but he can't box. You know, he can catch you once, then dive in for the takedown, take you down, and ground and pound you till the fight's over. You can't do that in boxing. And in boxing, if you get in trouble and you can't tie up, you're in trouble. In the UFC, if you get in trouble that way, in the boxing or the striking, you can dive in for the takedown, land a takedown, and give yourself some time to breathe. So these are the problems that UFC fighters are facing in the boxing world. It's just a major, major problem that they're not going to get past. They're real fighters. You know, growing up, we didn't know how fake boxing was. Now we know it's fake. The moment that two fighters are separated, it's fake. The only way boxing is not fake is that the fight starts and one guy KOs the other guy before there's any tie-ups, anything like that. But you're still taking away the takedown defense, takedown ability, all that stuff. All that stuff is out the window. It's just a completely different fight. And UFC fighters don't have a chance. So their best, and you see Jake Paul's beating them all. Their best look or best shot is what Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal are doing. And they're doing it because they're probably going to make more money than they would in a UFC fight. I haven't seen the figures. I don't know that for a fact, but that's the general direction. 1 or 2 fights and you're paid for life basically in boxing. And boxing's always been that way. No one knows who the undercard is or these fighters on the undercard. We only know the main event. In the UFC, we know all the fighters, so the money is spread out a little differently. And they're under contract regardless if they're like in the main event or whatever it may be. They might get some pay-per-view points or money on the back end, things like that. If they're the main event, maybe the co-main. But for the most part, they're under contract for a series of fights. In boxing, they have to pay the headliners good money because that's the only reason people are going to watch. And then they got to drag it out for an hour and a half, 2 hours before the main event starts because this is the only time they're really getting real views. So, of course, these guys are going to make more money than in a UFC setting, and you can't blame them. But if they're going to boxing to make it a career, they're going to be quickly mistaken, as Francis Ngannou was. Now, you got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fighting. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen, like a 20-something-year-old. Not sure exactly how old Jake Paul is. I guess I could look it up, but Mike Tyson's in his 50s, I believe, and it's just not even a fair fight. I'm already hearing people saying, man, Tyson's going to KO. That's always possible. I mean, it's Tyson. But the reality is, if you saw the Roy Jones Jr. fight, it was so sloppy. They tied up 100 times. That's not going to happen. Jake Paul's going to be able to keep the distance, pick them apart. He's going to be quicker. He's younger. He's not nearly as good of a fighter as Tyson was, obviously, but that was when Tyson was 18 to 25 in his prime. It's not the same Tyson. Now, will they have him filled with adrenaline? Whatever he's got to do to give himself a chance, I'm sure. Will he be crazy and wild? Yes. It will be better than the Roy Jones fight because there's a certain level of respect there. Like they're trying to win the fight, but they're also trying not to KO each other to some degree. It's like it's a fight, but it's not a real fight. This is a real fight. So Tyson's going to come in like an animal, and he's probably going to look good for a few rounds, but he's going to quickly get tired. What up? What up? This your boy Chris Cross checking in with a UFC schedule update. The next 3 weeks are going to be ridiculous. Manny Fiorello and Aaron Blanchfield next week. UFC flyweight, women's flyweight division that goes down at UFC Atlantic City. Then the following week, UFC Fight Night, Brandon Allen versus Chris Curtis, the rematch. Middleweight main event. Who doesn't want to see that? And then finally, I can't wait, UFC 300. Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Pereira vows to beat him quickly in the first round and then fight again at UFC 301 in Brazil. Is that even possible? I don't know, but I'm going to tune in to find out. Catch the podcast, TCMMA Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We are there. especially YouTube. So listen, we got all the predictions for you, live watch parties, event recaps. That's what it's all about. Stay tuned. We're coming right back after this. Now in our next prediction, you got the co-main event, at least for now. Carl Williams versus not Junior, but Justin Tafa. So let's get into that prediction. It's going to be a big one, ladies and gentlemen. I like this one because Justin Tafa, is a little bit better than Junior Tafa. So expect this to be an absolute battle. Check it out. In the heavyweight division, your co-main event at UFC Vegas 89, you got Carl Williams coming in at 9-1, Justin Tafa 7-3. You got to love heavyweight fights. Something good's going to happen here. Carl Williams is 3 inches taller at 6'3". He's 34, Tafa 30. No big difference there. Carl Williams, 5-inch reach advantage. He fights right-handed. Tafa fights left-handed. Now, believe it or not, Tafa is much more active. He almost doubles up Williams. 5.1 significant strikes per minute to 2.9. But Carl Williams dominates the ground with 4 takedowns every 3 rounds. That's, more than 1 takedown on average per round. So takedown defense for Tafa will be important, 100%. So far, he hasn't given up a takedown. Now, Carl Williams also 100%, but it's not as much of a big deal. He beat Chase Sherman. Big win by decision. 70-54 in significant strikes, 1 takedown. He had 8 takedowns against Lucchese, Brzezinski for a unanimous decision win. Outstruck him 38-26. So he's capable of dominating the ground. Now, Tafa coming off the win over Big Austin Lane by first round KO. Before that, he had a no contest against Lane, so that didn't really count. Beat Parker Porter and Harry Hunsucker both by KO. So he's got basically 3 KOs in the last 4 fights if you want to count the Austin Lane no contest. So he's unbeaten in the last 4 is how you look at that. So both guys rolling right now and going to be a good fight. I don't see any odds on this one yet, but I'll take Carl Williams in this one. Because I think even though Tafa's defended the takedowns, Carl Williams is really going to test him. That's why this fight is set up. Great setup by the matchmakers. Tafa striking versus Carl Williams' takedown ability, and I think the takedown ability wins out here. Even though Tafa hasn't given up one yet, I still think Carl Williams gets 2 or 3 to move to 10-1 in this one and get the unanimous decision victory. Heavyweight division, UFC Vegas 80. Yeah, so we're banking on the takedown game, and it's not like it's crazy good for Carl Williams, but it's going to have to be in this fight if he's going to win. And that's a decision we have to weigh when making a prediction. Will Justin Tafa be able to stop all the takedowns from Carl Williams? And Carl Williams is a big boy, so I'm saying no. I'm saying Carl Williams gets the job done with the ground and pound after he realizes in round 1, because heavyweights always think, okay, I can stand up and strike with this guy. I'm going to KO him. And when he realizes that's probably not going to happen here, he's going to go to the ground game in rounds 2 and 3 and will dominate the rest of the fight. Might even get a finish on the ground and pound. So that's the way I'm leaning with that one.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Yeah, and there you have it. And that's a big prediction for this co-main event as we await both fighters to make the walk to the octagon. We want to get to you some other information that happened tonight, earlier in this card. I think it was the second fight of the night, if I'm not mistaken. You had an awkward situation which led to a UFC fighter being removed from the UFC. I mean, it's just a wild situation. Ivor Severino versus Andre Lima. Or is that not it? No, that's not it. There it is. Yes. Check this out. Second fight of the night. Got a few minutes. We'll be right back after this. Now Lima complaining. He's pinned up against the fence and now he gets taken down. But when he grabbed the fence and now we got a time by the ref. We got a time. And Lima pointing to his bicep and saying he was bitten? What? No way. So now the ref's going to bring in someone. Mark Smith is the review official. So, wow, the doctor's looking at his elbow. Says, yeah. I don't know what he's saying yeah about. Both fighters separated now. Oh, my goodness. Weird. 2 minutes left in round 2. A good fight underway. I mean, here, going down. And is he? Oh, we're seeing the replay here. I don't know. I mean, how can you definitely tell? I mean, I guess the doctor came in and said, yeah. Combined with video evidence, I don't know. Because his face is blocked. But Lima clearly complaining about something. So now it's got to be like, okay. And even if all this is true, then what happens? But you got to have the doctor say, yeah, he was bitten. Then you got to have video. Whoa, it is. It's going to be, the fight's over. It's going to be a DQ? Can't be a no contest. Disqualification. Wow. Igor Severino, who was fighting well, is going to get DQ'd. And Severino saying no. What? Unreal. Unreal. So now the ref telling his coaches that he... Unbelievable. I don't know, man. This is crazy. Never seen this before. Never seen this before. But Igor Severino is DQ'd. Oh! Whoa! Okay. 100%. Yeah, it's official. Unbelievable. Wow. Look at that. Wow. Unbelievable. 100% video proof right there. Proof positive. Yeah, Andre Lima deserves a victory here. Severino deserves to be DQ'd. And that's the way it goes down, man. Unbelievable here at UFC Vegas 89. Yeah, so that really happened. Unfortunate. I mean, that really happened. And it led to him being removed from the UFC quickly by Dana White, who did the right thing. Then later, as you get into the main card, Peyton Talbot, absolutely dominant performance against Cameron Simon. Here's the reaction. Yeah, and you get a look at some big shots there at the end of the first round. Round 2, kicking off, and it's Peyton Talbot just piecing him up. Oh, and a big left drop Simon. And man, Simon's trying to get up from this. I don't see how this is possible. Simon's going down here. I mean, Peyton Talbot is just dominating significant strikes. The ref's got to stop it, and he does. Let's go. Peyton Talbot gets us back to 5-5, and he does a little dance in the process. And this guy is ridiculous. Because I'm telling you right now, Cameron Simon is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. But when we made our prediction, we had to go with Peyton Talbot. I mean, this guy is tough, man. And he's 8-0. Smiles in the process. He's going to get the win here in the bantamweight division. And you see this, man. Cameron Simon came out swinging, and Talbot just caught him coming in with a left. And, yeah, took him off his feet, and that's it. So Peyton Talbot gets the job done. Very few KOs a night. This is one of them. Bantamweight division, UFC Vegas 89. Yeah, so that was one of the few that actually went our way tonight. It's been a rough night. Check this out. There we are. And we're going to need Carl Williams and Amanda Ribas to come through because we're 5-6 on the night. We got Andre Lima. That was a DQ. Thank goodness, because we were 1-3 in the first 4. Then Miles Johns gets the win. Ricardo Ramos loses. Can't believe that. Trey Ogden won. Take it. Padilla won. Billy Q let us down. Peyton Talbot dominated. And then AJ Dobson, who looked good, could have easily got us a 6-5. Got dominated. I mean, it's crazy. So that's the type of night we're having so far. Not good. And it looks like both guys are going to... Are they in the octagon? Yeah. So we didn't get to see the walk. So both guys are in the octagon. So no more stalling, if you will. It's time to get to some fight. So as we get back to it, in this one, you got Carl Williams and Justin Tafa, man. It's going to be a big heavyweight fight. We got Carl Williams winning. You heard the prediction earlier. And it's huge. We go 5-7 here. And then we're 4-5 in the main event overall. It's going to be... We're on the ropes right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the ropes. We got to have this fight. And Justin Tafa is a big guy. Oh, my goodness. Can you tell I'm getting nervous? Can you tell I'm getting nervous? Yes. Carl Williams. Let's go, man. Please. Just fight beside yourself tonight. Fighting at the Virgin Islands, okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. It's going to be a tough fight. All right, here we go. Carl Williams, Justin Tafa, UFC Vegas 89. Herb Dean reffing the fight. And both these fighters look like they're capable of winning. To me, Carl Williams' shoulders got much bigger since the last fight, but we know what Justin Tafa is capable of. Carl Williams 9-1, Tafa 7-3. They touch gloves and we're on. Heavyweight division's interesting right now. You know, John Jones holding on to that belt. Tom Aspinall wants to fight. And then you got a bunch of other guys, basically. Right. Oh, jeez. Both guys trading. A lot of power in the octagon right now. And a nice leg kick to the body by Tafa. And we just saw Brother Junior Tafa a couple weeks ago. He fell pretty easily and pretty quickly, but Justin Tafa is a different animal. Oh, big left. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Carl Williams takes a left, another left. Oh, and a knee. And here comes a takedown. Okay. And this is what I hope for, because Tafa doubles him up on the feet. Okay. And what we banked on in the prediction is the takedown game. And just when Carl Williams got in trouble, right to the takedown. And this goes back to the Contender Series. He's had a takedown in every fight. So, you know, he'll stand up and test it, but at the end of the day, he's going to take this to the ground if he can. And Tafa had really good takedown defense, if I'm not mistaken, like 80%, maybe 85%. That wasn't a problem for Carl Williams. Tafa's got the half guard. He rolls over to his right side. So he's making the right moves right now to try to get out of this. He's got to work his way up. But Carl Williams now with an elbow. 2 minutes gone in the first round. It seems like 4. Okay, and Tafa works his way up. But this is Carl Williams all day. He's got the head on the hip. He's not going to give up on this, and he does take Tafa back down. All right. All right. Let's go, Williams. Ultimate equalizer, the ground game. Tafa doing a good job of trying to stand up, but Carl Williams just all over him. If it wasn't for the fence, he would have taken the back already. And you got Tafa on all fours trying to shake him off, but it's not going to happen. Tafa needs to go to work here. He needs to get out of this and get some separation. That's going to be the hard part. Both guys standing up now. You got Carl Williams leaning on him, looking to take him back down, and he does. Takes him straight down. And man, Williams is a strong guy to be picking up Tafa like that. Tafa gets back to his feet, leaning up against the fence. So Tafa is continually working to get back to his feet. That's a good sign for him. Okay, now he positions himself with his back against the fence. Carl Williams got the head on the hip again, which means he's going to be looking for the single leg. Now he's got the right leg. His left. Carl Williams takes him down again. So now we're looking at 4 takedowns for Carl Williams, who's been impressive with these takedowns and control time. He's not doing much with it, but he's still up 9-7 in significant strikes, 8-6 in head strikes, with 307 of control on 4 takedowns. But when a leg kick from Tafa's back, Herb Dean says keep fighting. It wasn't a big one, and the reason that's a problem is because he's a grounded opponent. Matter of fact, I just heard Joe Rogan talking about this rule, and it's like from your back, you might try to land a kick on an opponent, but you got to be careful because they're grounded too, which is crazy because you're the one on your back. Boy, and Carl Williams pounding away now. Leaning Tafa against the fence, just pounding away with the left. He knows the clock's getting low, and Herb Dean get ready to step in. Final 3 seconds. And that'll do it. All right. So here we go. And we get a second round tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So at least one fight goes to the second round. Carl Williams looking decent so far, 12-7 in significant strikes, 10-6 in head strikes, 4 minutes of control time on 4 takedowns. So that's where it's at. Job well done for Carl Williams. Now he just got to hold on. But Tafa's got the power, especially at the start of these rounds, the first minute, to try to do something. But once Carl Williams gets into the body, not letting go. So on one end, I feel good about Carl Williams. I feel good about his ability to win this fight, via the control game, the takedown game. But you still got to worry about Tafa's KO power. Always got to worry about it. And I know you heard this during the break. Some big weeks ahead in the UFC leading up to UFC 300. We got Atlantic City next week. 2 of the baddest women's flyweight fighters on the planet. Blanchfield and Fiora. Oh my goodness. And we still got a big flyweight fight coming up tonight. After this, round 2 co-main event. Carl Williams, Justin Tafa, just getting started. And a lot of prospects right now in the heavyweight division. I'm interested in Carl Williams right now, especially if you can get the win over Justin Tafa. It's kind of like, if you look at Justin Tafa right now, he's not, this is going to be a big deal for him, right? 8-3 versus 7-4. But he's kind of like a stepping stone to the next level of the heavyweight division. So if you're Carl Williams, you got to get past him. You got to win this fight. First 50 seconds gone, not much action. Tafa not as aggressive now as you've seen the takedown game from Carl Williams. So he's going to be more patient and try to really find that shot. And Williams lands a left and a right. But you better be careful. Better be careful with Tafa. I'm telling you, man. 3:40 left in round 2. A lot of time on the feet. Tafa looks way too patient for me right now. Oh, there it is. There's a left. Carl Williams takes it and gets out of there. But he can't take too many of those. A lot of strategy right now. And here we go. Carl Williams gets a single leg, drives Tafa back into the fence. Tafa shoves him off and lands a left. Okay. And if Tafa can defend takedowns from this point forward, this fight is going to flip. Carl Williams won round one with, 4 takedowns, 4 minutes of control time. Big left by. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Tafa messed up. Landed a right, a nice right, then tried to land the leg kick. It got caught, and right to the ground. And here's where Williams has to go to work now. And there it is. Big right, big left. Okay. But Tafa doing a good job of not allowing Williams to posture up. He does now. Tafa takes 2 lefts, and Williams trying to go to work. And it's just got to be tough if you're Tafa, because Williams has his knees planted in the ground. Tafa's got a half guard, but Williams off to his right side, just pounding away with the free left. And now he's posturing up. Tafa takes a left and a right. And it's not anything it's going to end the fight, but it's just over time. Those get worse and worse. You just don't want to take those for too long. Now Tafa's got to be careful right here, because Carl Williams is looking to take the back. Tafa doing a good job of turning into him. But it's Williams who's being patient now, because he's in the area of the fight that he wants to be, right? Now he straightens out the left of Tafa, lands a right. And Williams near 5 minutes of ground control time. And that doesn't always mean much, but in this case, he's up 22-13 in significant strikes, 74-14 in total strikes. And now he's looking at a submission attempt here. Oh boy, Tafa's in trouble. Tafa's in trouble. Tafa gets out of it. Nice. 40 seconds left in the round. And it was Williams trying to set up the triangle, almost had it. It looked like he had it. Oh, now Williams really opening up here, just like the last round. He's starting to see the clock trickle down. It's now at 20 seconds. He's going to want to leave a statement at the end of the round and just continue to pile up punches on Justin Tafa. And yeah, that's going to be the bell. And Tafa takes 2 more lefts on the way out. So, it's got to be very aggravating for Tafa. It's taking him out of his fight. It's 87-22 in significant strikes, or total strikes. 23-14, a lot closer in significant strikes. So what you're seeing is Carl Williams is landing a lot more strikes, but they're not, big punches, right? You don't see that too often. He's got 87 total strikes and 23 significant strikes. 16 of those are head strikes, 6 body, 1 leg, 643 of control on 5 takedowns. We're about to go to a second hand. This guy is ridiculous on the takedown game. But at least this round, if you're Tafa, you made it more than half the round. He made it probably through 3 minutes before the takedown happened. And I don't know how Carl Williams is going to stack up against some of the better guys. I don't see him beating a Curtis Blades. I don't see him beating guys that are up there on the ladder like that. But he should beat Justin Tafa here. That's what I'm thinking. He might even win the next fight. But when he creeps up into that top 10 of the division, that's when it will be interesting to see if he can still continue to land takedowns, isolate his opponents on the ground. There's going to be someone that packs a punch that's going to slow down Carl Williams. And Williams opens up with a left and then steps back. And how much of that ground and pound, wear on Tafa? Not much. Oh, lands a big right. Carl Williams a little bit of trouble. He goes in for the takedown, holding on to that leg. He can't get it. And now on the way up, Carl Williams takes a left and a right, and this is what he's got to stay away from, and he does. So Carl Williams able to at least drive Tafa back into the fence. But this time Tafa's trying to do everything he can to try to finish the fight before the inevitable happens. And he almost did. But Carl Williams grabs the left leg or the right leg and takes him down. An unbelievable ability for Carl Williams to go right to the takedown and have the ability to get the takedown when he finds himself in trouble on the feet. Yeah. Carl Williams having a tough time navigating Justin Tafa. He just knows one thing. I don't want this guy to get up. And now he's working to try to pull him from the fence. But it's proven not to be that easy. Herb Dean telling him to work. And it looks like there's no work happening because Carl Williams, you got Justin Tafa like with his back up against the fence. And you got Carl Williams trying to drag him out, but he's so heavy that he can't move him. It's like Justin Tafa's like a rock, a big rock. So Herb Dean getting antsy, but this is important for Carl Williams here to be able to keep this fight on the ground. He's got to do just enough so that Herb Dean does not separate him, because that would not be good for him. Halfway through round 3. And after that flurry, it's 27-25 Williams in significant strikes, but 21-20 Tafa in head strikes. And that's only counting the significant ones. Carl Williams landed a lot more. But they're more like taps. Tap, tap. Takedown. A knee here. A punch to the body, to the face here and there. But not many that are significant. Final 2 minutes of this fight. And it's like Justin Tafa is just, he looks frustrated like Carl Williams isn't doing enough, but he also cannot get out of it. And Carl Williams wants to make sure he doesn't get out of it, which is that's the exact strategy I say Carl Williams had to use to win this fight. I was just a little nervous that he could pull it off. And with 1:20 left, he's about to do it. But Tafa now really working to try to get out of here. And if he does, with 1 minute left, it's going to get real interesting. Oh boy. And he gets out. 1:09 left. And now if you're Carl Williams, I go right back in for the takedown. Don't play on the feet. There it is. Yep, Tafa's frustrated. 55 seconds left. Carl Williams starting to get a little tired. Taking a deep breath and backing off. He goes in for the single leg. And man, it's just amazing. Tafa can't do anything about it as Carl Williams takes him down once again. Final 40. And we'll see how the judges feel about this one, but this one's overwhelming. 7 takedowns, 10 minutes of control time. More than 2 rounds out of 3. Nearly. In ground control time, too. Ooh. And a nice hammer right there as Carl Williams going to open up. Every round he's finishing strong from the top position. And that tells me that he's about to get a dominant victory. And we're about to be 6-6. Going into the main event, which ain't great, but, you know. 7-6 is a lot better than 6-7. And we'll await the result. But to me, Carl Williams came in and did exactly what he had to do to get the victory. Avoid the KO. Go to the ground game. And like I'd like to say in football, the ground game is like running the football. We got the lead, and we're going to run the clock out. We're just going to keep running the football, running the clock. That's what Carl Williams did. 120 to 36 in total strikes. No control time for Justin Tafa. I mean, 0. 7 takedowns for Carl Williams. Yeah, just a matter of time till we make this official. I hesitate to put a W next to Carl Williams' name yet, though, either. I don't want to jinx it. I'm keeping the hands free. I'm not changing anything until we know that Carl Williams won. It's been a weird year, too. We go 2 weeks in a row with like 6-6, 7-6, 6-7, whatever, and then bam, we get like a 10-3 and 11-2 a few weeks back. So you just never know. Here we go, both fighters together. Co-main event's going to be a wrap here in a second. 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. That's going to be Carl Williams. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll take that all day. Carl Williams walks away with the victory. He's going to be 10-1. That's a big performance in a win versus Justin Tafa, heavyweight division. UFC Vegas 89. So that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Listen, we're going to be back shortly with the main event. So stay tuned. Right through the break. Don't leave. Rose Namajunas on deck. 10 pounds heavier than normal. You're not going to want to miss this one. As we jump into the Q&A, you got Hamza. 2 very close decisions to 2 welterweights. Chimaev is a middleweight. Couldn't KO an overweight welterweight at middleweight. Bo Jackson's going off. The only thing Chimaev has done against top 10 fighters is have 2 very close decisions against welterweights. Yeah, man. I know. He's been off for a while, so it's time to jump on him a little bit, but he'll be back. And we as fans, you know, we're not happy of the absence. But we also recognize when he does come back, what's going to happen, because it only legitimizes what we're saying. It's only when he's off that we struggle, because it's like we have nothing to talk about. But he'll be back. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, big this week. Okay, dude. Turning off halfway through your debate on UFC versus boxing. I thought you were going to weigh in on Tyson versus Paul, which I did, and a lot of people weighed in on. So you turned off a little too early. I was just setting it up for Tyson and Jake Paul. Battle destroyed him last night. Yeah, I agree. But he didn't get the win. On Hamza, it stinks. Can they please get him a fight? Another weigh in. He just vanished fight-wise for too long now anyway. I know, man. He's been gone for a while. Back to Tyson and Paul. Mark Nazelli says Jake Paul doesn't have the experience where Jones has either. The whole thing will be fixed, hands down. John Vincent, Tyson is going to take him out, basically. Yeah, Tyson's going to win, which is what everybody's saying. Doug Sadler, a few rounds left out loud. If Mike corners in like Mike over in seconds, not rounds, is what he's saying, unless it's fixed. Tyson knows he is old and don't have the stamina. And that's the key, right? Is that that's what I said, he's got to come in quick in the first 2 rounds and try to finish this thing. Joe Paxosa, wonder who has the longer reach. Tyson isn't known for long punches. He fights face to face, not from a distance. And that's the thing, is will Jake Paul be able to keep him off? People are acting like, listen, you remember me. You remember me. I've gone against Jake Paul almost all the time. But now I'm starting to become a believer, and he's fighting Tyson, an older Tyson. This is only going to legitimize him more. So all of you that are saying Tyson's going to win, if Jake Paul wins, then you're going to say Tyson was too old. Paul weighs in. Mike Tyson, now he looks like when he looked, when he got out of prison, that body build he has now is the same body build he had when he was a younger boy. Jake Paul is going down. Listen, he's 20-something, now he's 50-something, man. I think everybody's overlooking this thing. Snowflake. Jake is going down. Hey, say what you want. I think Jake's going to win this thing, man. I think Jake Paul wins. And you got a long one there. I don't feel like reading a long one. J.R. Young, this fight isn't going to go a few rounds. Tim Carsey, Mike Tyson is going to beat the heck out of Jake Paul. And Tommy just laughs. So, I mean, I'm saying, when we posted this video, everybody is against Jake Paul. I mean, everybody is against Jake Paul. I'm completely surprised. As we move forward into the Q&A, it's going to be dominated today. 222 comments on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. We obviously won't get through all those, but man, that's probably a record, or at least close. Chris Lee says, look at the rules. Totally disrespectful to Tyson. Headgear. Tag in your brother. Weigh in. Get out. He's scared. Paul can't handle him, period. Nick Corey fires back. Some people believe everything they hear. Pick up your phone, type in the rules. It's really not that hard. I know your day is busy, brother, but just do a little research before you trust everything you hear. Yeah. David Shirley weighs in. Chris Lee, so you heard that rumor and thought it was real. No. None of the stuff will fly in an official boxing match. That's why I read that and I was like, what? Kevin Bell. Chris Lee, this is wrong. Jake Paul said on a live stream the other day, these rules are wrong. Won't you, what you are saying? Yeah. Chris Lee, I heard they changed the rules. Yeah, so those rules are not true. Thank goodness. Chad Tenberg says, being judgmental about his age is your first mistake. A lot of older men will beat a lot of younger guys. Knowledge and being hungry. Tyson is hungry. I believe it. And a lot of people believe this thing's fixed anyway, but I believe Tyson going there and win in the first 2 rounds. But I'm banking on the fact that that's not going to happen. I'm banking on the fact that Tyson's going to go in there and get tired because he's 57 years old. Maybe 58 by fight time or close to it. I mean, the guy is near 60. Come on, y'all. Please, man. Grayson Vaughn. Really, really funny analogy. Tyson is so far above this challenge, he is going to destroy Paul. And Joe Harris says, yeah, he's 100% correct. And I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is with Mike Tyson. I haven't seen one yet for Jake Paul. Mike McCullough, Tyson didn't want that fight. He wants this one. So sit down with that nonsense. I mean, listen, everyone's got some points here. Robbie Rivera, Tyson going to win. How long ago was the Roy Jones Jr. fight exactly? Tyson been in the gym since that, then putting in the work, training, and trying to get himself to where he used to be. The Tyson we're seeing now is 100% different Tyson than the Tyson we saw. Yeah, okay. But he's still 57 years old. Mike Tyson is 57 years old. Jake Paul's like 20-something, maybe 30. I don't even know. But it's a major difference, and it's a factor in this one. Rick Kempkins Jr. says Tyson carried Jones Jr. through that fight. He could have hurt Jones Jr. bad, and I think he knew it. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Troy Brown, not a real match. They have already acted out the whole thing and created a script. Just a money grab from all you people who think it's real. This is not a title shot or anything that matters. They are already rich and just getting richer. But Tyson doesn't need the money, does he? I mean, I don't think he does. Tyson doesn't need the money. Tyson's not taking this fight for the money. I think he's taking this fight because he really believes that he can win. And I find it hard to believe that it'd be scripted. You never know. It's not like I have come through a Jake Paul fight and said, yeah, that might not have been real. I definitely have. But I just can't see Tyson doing that. I mean, Tyson, I just can't believe he can even do that. I believe if Tyson steps in the ring, he's ready to KO somebody. Like, I think Tyson's coming in for real. But even with that, I still say Jake Paul gets to round 3, and then you're going to immediately see things change. And Jake Paul is going to win this fight. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Listen, it's not like I'm perfect. I say this all the time. Anything can happen. I mean, absolutely anything. But in terms of making a pick, I got to go with Jake Paul in this one because Mike Tyson is 57 freaking years old. Some of you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid of the old Tyson. This isn't the old Tyson. It's a whole new game now. I'm 40, and if I fought my 20-year-old self, I might have a chance, but if it goes 3 or 4 rounds, I'm going to be in serious trouble, no matter how much I train. I'm just, you get up there, especially when you're in your, I mean, I can't imagine. I got a long ways to go for I'm 57, and I'm tired now. I can't imagine how Tyson's feeling. I mean, I just don't see it happening, y'all. But listen, I respect the opinions all day, especially 222 of them all for Tyson. And if we really read through them, I'd say 210 out of 222 are for Tyson. You have to really dig through there to find one for Paul. But it is what it is, man. I just got to give you, and I've gone against Jake Paul almost every time, but not in this one. I can't. Of course, there's a bunch of good fights on this card, but none other is better than the main event. It's just a fact. Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas in the women's flyweight division. Who isn't interested to see Thug Rose, right? When you're a thug like Thug Rose, you ain't got no problem going up to flyweight division. So it's time. It's time to get into the main event for this week. Let's do it. Amanda Ribas versus Thug Rose in the women's flyweight division at UFC Vegas 89. You got Amanda Ribas coming in at 12-4, taking on a 12-6. Moving up to flyweight, Rose Namajunas, former women's strawweight champion. Now, Namajunas is actually 2 inches taller at 5'5". She's also a heavy favorite in this one. We'll get into that in a moment. Both in their prime. Namajunas 31, Ribas 30. Ribas 1 inch reach advantage, 66-65. She's a more dominant striker, actually. Nearly 5 significant strikes per minute. Rose 3.7. Now, in terms of the takedown game, that leads to Ribas 2 takedowns over the course of 3 rounds. Rose won every other round, so it's kind of close there as well. Takedown defense will be important. 87% for Ribas, 60% for Namajunas. So I'm not seeing an angle for Namajunas just yet. Now Ribas, coming off the win over Pinheiro by KO, lost to Macy Barber, who's really come on the scene lately, by second round KO, and beat Vivian Araujo by unanimous decision. Now Thug Rose lost to Manon Fiorot, decision. Lost to Carlos Esparza, split decision to lose the belt. Defended the belt against Zhang Weili twice. Or actually won the belt from Zhang Weili and then defended it the second time. She KO'd her the first time and then won by split decision the second. So it's tough coming up divisions, which is why it's odd that Rose is nearly a 2-1 favorite in this one, because I like Amanda Ribas better in all the numbers. Now, whenever a fighter is coming up, for Ribas, Rose is going to be very quick. The first round is always tough, but Ribas will take over this fight in round 2 and then dominate in round 3. Look for the takedown game to become important at some point for Ribas to win this fight, to really slow down Namajunas, and she'll do so. I like Amanda Ribas to win this fight by either unanimous or split decision, and I say split because it's going to be 2 rounds to 1, and it just takes one of the 3 judges to go to Rose in 2 rounds out of 3 to be a split decision. But I think Ribas pulls this thing out either way. But nonetheless, a great main event here in the women's flyweight division at UFC Vegas 89. Yeah, I just don't believe that Thug Rose is going to be able to come up to flyweight and just dominate. I mean, it's like Amanda Ribas is the home team in this situation. She's got everything for her. Not the crowd backing or anything like that, because if there was a big crowd, it would be for Thug Rose. But the fact is, Rose has to put on 10 pounds. She's going to be faster. But the strike game and takedown game and all-around fighting style of Ribas is going to cause problems for Rose Namajunas, who's going to want to come in here and make a statement. This isn't the fight in which she'll be able to make that statement. That's just my pick. That's just what I believe. But listen, it's time. Let's get it on.
You're watching the TCMMA podcast. And now, back to your host, Chris Cross.
Yes. It's main event time. Let's get this fixed. As we jump into, all right, there we go. Now we got a clear picture. But it's main event time, baby. Let's go. Ribas versus Namajunas. I'm ready. We're 6-6 on a night. We got to have this. We're 4-5 in the main event. And I cannot stand that I got to root against Rose Namajunas. But that's the way that it goes. We need Amanda Ribas to pull this thing off. Not today, Doug Rose. And who knows if I've ever gone against Namajunas. I can't remember. I like her a lot. But tough task going up to the flyweight division where Amanda Ribas is a darn good fighter. And Ribas is a 2-1 underdog. That's crazy. At least she's got a winning record as a dog. 2-1 as a dog. Let's go. Let's go, Ribas. And these are two wild women, and they're shouting on the way to the octagon. They look crazy. I like it. And anything can happen here. All right, so let's set the table. UFC Vegas 89, main event. Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. Namajunas going up the women's flyweight division from 115 at strawweight to 125 at flyweight. And we're getting ready to see what she can do as this fight's getting ready to be on. And here we go. Both fighters touch gloves. And here we go. Man, Doug Rose looks a lot smaller than Amanda Ribas. 15 seconds into the fight. And it's like she's just so short at flyweight, you know? And you don't see like she adds much weight. It just seems to me like Ribas is more in her comfort zone. This is her division. And I don't see a lot of extra power that would be necessary for Namajunas to come up and get a victory here. But listen, we've been wrong many times before. 4:15 left, round one. And you would think the advantage here would be not for Namajunas to kind of play and look for technique and style points and all that, but she's got to come in and be the faster fighter because you got to figure that Ribas is going to be the stronger fighter. Ooh, and a big right by Namajunas. Come on, Ribas. Ooh, big right there by Ribas, who has the best takedown defense. Well, I'm sorry, fourth, did it say? 88% in women's history. So that means Rose had to stand up and strike with her, and so far it's going pretty well for Rose. But it's 14-12. Ribas in significant strikes right now. She lands a right and a left and a spinning kick. Ooh, and there's a takedown for Ribas. And this is where it'll get interesting. Doug Rose stands right up though. Lands a knee. Okay. Now Rose is going to walk her back. Oh, she gets flipped at the last second. Yeah, Rose doing a good job in the clinch. I'm surprised. You know, I thought there'd be a lot of advantages here for Ribas. And Rose showing she can hang tight. Hang tough, I should say. Excuse me. And a couple knees here about Doug Rose. Look at this. Now she takes a lead, 18-15 in significant strikes. So she's definitely in the fight. And already showing that she can escape takedowns. Oh, boy. Come on, Ribas. Ribas lands a right. Okay. Oh! Rose lands a stiff left. Man. Come on, Ribas. Clinch up. Okay. Ribas with the takedown. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, and Rose flips it. Are you serious? Rose is on top. Side control. Unbelievable. And this I did not expect. thought power would lean towards Ribas, even though I know she's not really known for power, more finesse. But you would still think power would lean her way with Rose coming up, but it's not. 1 minute left, round one. And Rose just maintaining this position. Hard to believe. And in these tough fights, especially with Rose moving up, facing a Brazilian at a higher weight class, and as much as I like Rose, I'm going with the Brazilian because I think the Brazilian's usually going to dominate the ground in most cases. And it's the exact opposite right now. 20 seconds left. And there's a tap. And Rose is going to get out of this, likely win the round. 20-17 in significant strikes, 155 to 18 of control time. And there's the bell, or the horn. And Ribas puts her hands in the air. See, I don't understand why. You just got dominated the last 2 minutes. Yeah, so her corner's telling her, she made some mistakes on the takedown. She lands the takedown, then kind of on the bounce, Rose then gets on top and then holds that for like 2 minutes. 155 to be exact, so. That's a big deal. Gosh, I mean, Rose is impressive, man. Just throughout their career, winning the belt, a lot of fanfare. Now you find yourself fighting in a fight night main event at the Apex. Not a big crowd. Not a normal environment. A tough environment in terms of moving up divisions, and she's doing well. And we're getting a look at the replay here. So Ribas lands a takedown with like a headlock. On the takedown, it gets bounced and flipped, and she finds herself on her back and can't get out of it. Second round underway. And I sure hope we see a finish here. I hope we don't see 5 rounds of this. We need a finish. And as we sit through this, just a breakdown of the women's divisions, right? Rose was up there, champion for a while, at strawweight, 115 pounds. Then you got 125 pounds here, where the fighters are a little bit bigger, have more power. And then you go from here and you go up to women's bantamweight at 135, and you get even more power. A lot of fighters with great takedown defense and good ground games. It just gets tougher and tougher. Obviously, as you go up in weight class here in the women's divisions, and they're all 10 pounds apart. Strawweight, flyweight, bantamweight. 345 left in the round. And both fighters on the feet trading right here. And a nice combination there by Ribas and a spinning back kick. And all of a sudden, it's 28-28 in significant strikes. Very close. And if I'm the coach for Rose, I'm telling her, obviously her confidence should be through the roof. She's in there battling against a really good flyweight. And she's just got to go on the attack and take this fight over. It could very easily go the other way. Or it could stay like this and be very close. But Rose should be gaining momentum as this fight goes on. Ribas in and out with the jabs. She stands left-handed. Misses on the right jab. Misses again. Rose doing a good job of keeping the head off the center line. Rose lands a right. And it's a very active division. Look at this. Rose lands a takedown. They get right back up. That should be credited as a takedown. We'll see. But, I mean, Ribas was right up. Ribas ranked number 8 in the flyweight division. Namajunas looking to get ranked. Oh, we got a leg lock here. And Rose is in trouble. Rose is in trouble. Ooh, how did Ribas lose that? And to me, Rose's face looked like, oh boy, I'm in trouble here. And suddenly Ribas let's go. Had it locked in and everything. Rose on top of Ribas, kind of with her knees to her stomach, trying to protect herself. 125 left in a round. And I really thought Rose would struggle here. She hasn't. Not only has she not struggled, she should be gaining confidence minute by minute against Ribas. And it's about right, you know. She's a really good strawweight fighter. Ranked second, third, first, somewhere around there. And you go up to, you know, one division, 10 pounds up, flyweight division, and you take on number 8. That's about right. That's about right where it should be very competitive. And that's the way it looks. Namajunas on top, 25 seconds left, round 2. And here we go, folks. We're settling in for what could be 25 minutes. Come out early tonight in the big 3. We get the first fight, boom, first round finish. It's like, okay, here we go. And then we get a decision in the co-main event. And now we're 2 rounds through here in the main event. And again, Ribas putting her hands up. I don't know what she thinks she's accomplishing with that at the end of the round. When her opponent had her on the ground to finish the round. I don't know what she's putting her hands up for. Rose up 48-34. Significant strikes. That was a really good round for Rose. And round 1 was a toss-up. So 355 of control. Courtesy of 2 takedowns from Ribas. So Ribas is getting the takedown. The problem is Rose is flipping the position almost immediately, really immediately, and then holding that position for the remainder of the round. And Ribas has me really nervous right now. And she's going to make me pay for going against Rose, who I know better than to ever go against. But going up divisions is tough. Both fighters kind of dancing around now, waiting for the start of this round. And here we go. Round 3's underway. And you got another big flyweight division fight next week with Aaron Blanchfield and Manon Fiorot. That's going to be ridiculous. 2 undefeated fighters, at least in the UFC. 6-0 in the UFC. And they call it a title eliminator, but you know how I feel about that. Every fight's a title eliminator. If you lose, you're eliminated from fighting for the title in your next fight. That's every fight. You got to win. And Rose starts it out with a big right hand and a right leg kick. Slow start to this round. First 50 seconds gone and Rose slips. She gets right back up. And I'm pretty sure Rose has had a fight since the Carla Esparza fight, but man, that fight was a bad performance by her. Very slow pace. It's good to see her picking up her pace again. Right now with 57 significant strikes in just over 2 rounds. She didn't have that many in 5 rounds against Esparza. Cost her the belt. Right now she's up 58-41. And if she keeps this pace, she's going to be well over 100. Ribas will be just shy or right at it. So the speed is there for Namajunas, right? You move up weight classes, you should be a little faster than your opponent, but your opponent should have more power, more strength. At least that's what we've seen in most cases. Can the fighter in Ribas' position deal with the speed of Namajunas early in the fight? And then if the answer is yes, then they start to take over because of the size as the fight goes on. We've seen that happen and play out time and time again. But it's not happening that way this time. Rose seems just as strong as Ribas. It didn't look that way at the beginning. But it sure looks that way right now. 2:10 left in the third as this fight grinds on. And I fear we're going to a decision in this one, unless something happens. Nice takedown there by Ribas. Let's see if she can hold it. She hasn't been able to. Namajunas right back up to her feet. Now they flip again, and a lot of flipping going on the ground. Ribas still has position, but Namajunas stands her back up and walks her to the fence. And this should now be seriously concerning for the corner of Ribas, because even when she lands the takedowns, Rose has the strength to take over the position. And that is not good for Amanda Ribas. Not good at all. Okay, here we go with the takedown again. Now Ribas is on top. Namajunas on her back. Okay, this is the first time we've seen Namajunas struggle. And right now Ribas' arm is free, but Rose Namajunas grabs it quickly and is trying to block her from using it. Now Ribas spins, moves to side control. Half guard applied by Rose. This is the best we've seen Ribas so far in terms of being on top, being able to hold position. And this is what she needed to do early in the fight. Hadn't been able to, and now she's doing it. And boy, when she's on top, she's really pounding away on Rose here. And it stops momentarily. Under 20 seconds now. Big thing for Rose is just to get to the end of the round right now, because she's under a lot of pressure. 10 seconds left. There's a tap. And it looks to me like she's going to make it. But man, running uphill going into the end of that round. 64-53. Rose still leads in significant strikes. 27-24. Very close. And Ribas keeps doing it. She does this thing where at the end of the round, she just puts her hands up like she won the round every time. And she'd be lucky to win 2 rounds right now out of 3. Just went through a decision right now. I'd say it's a split decision. So this fight's definitely up in the air heading into round 4. You know, we hear Rose's coach telling her kind of what she did wrong and differently in round 3. They kind of allow Ribas to take over at the end of the round. Now Ribas looking very calm in her corner. Her corner sounds a little more positive, which is a good thing for her, where they sounded not too confident at the end of round 2, and they shouldn't have been. As we get a look at the replays here, both fighters just trading. And you finally get the takedown here with the headlock. by Ribas, who then starts to really use that free right arm. And that was a concern for Doug Rose. And she ended up grabbing a hold of it, slowing it down. And gets to the end of the round, and that brings us to round 4. I saw this fight coming to a dramatic end in round 1 or 2. It didn't happen. Ribas still 2-1 underdog. It is crazy that Ribas is a 2-1 underdog. I just can't believe it. It's her division. She's ranked top 10 in the world. And yeah, Rose Namajunas is good as a strawweight, but when you move up, it's not easy. And a lot of fighters moving up would struggle in the top 5, and that's why facing number 8, Ribas, is like the perfect fight for Namajunas. It's like, are we a top 10 flyweight as well? That's what we're trying to find out. Some people weighing in saying 30-27 Ribas. I don't think Ribas won round 2. There's no way she won round 2. 29-28 maybe. Then you got others like Misha Tate going the other way, saying they like more or less seeing Rose fight and how good she is. So it's very tough to predict how this fight's going to go down if it goes to a decision. And of course, we still got 8 minutes left. Rose Namajunas leads in head strikes 33-31. Significant strikes 71-67, but Ribas is coming back, closing the gap. Now Ribas is starting to faint more, which is important. Yeah, Rose slowing down a little bit. Still landing some punches here and there, but the power's not there. It seems to me like she's breathing harder. And would that weight gain have any effect on this fight? Rose Namajunas lands a takedown here. 2:30 left in the round. Halfway through the round. Ribas on her back. And oh boy. Point of view, Rose, you got to, you're moving up 10 pounds and you find yourself in a potential 5-round main event. And it's like, you got to carry that extra 10 pounds, which is what? 10 pounds out of 125. That's like 85% roughly. So you're putting on 15% body weight or 8% body weight. Somewhere along those lines, that's a lot. For anybody. If you're 180, it's like bumping up to 200. Well, you're going to be tired. More and more as the fight goes on because you're carrying extra weight. Haven't seen it just yet for Namajunas. Maybe in the beginning of the 4th round here. But fortunately, she landed the takedown. Has continued to build control time. She's over 6 minutes now. And most of that control time coming on Ribas takedowns that she just flipped. Impressive. Very close fight, ladies and gentlemen. Final minute, round 4. And let us know in the chat how you think this thing's going to go. I mean, to me, Ribas won round 1 and 3. Namajunas won round 2. Namajunas appears to be winning round 4. And then you had the fact that it's Rose Namajunas. Close round, Could you fault the judge for saying, it's a close round? Rose won it. Who knows? 20 seconds left, round 4. We got 1 round left on this card, and we're about to be done. Ribas maintains a full guard through the round, but she's been on her back for a good 2 to 3 minutes. And just not a good look here at the end of this round. And my worry for her is Rose clearly won rounds 2 and 4. Ribas didn't clearly win rounds 1 and 3, although I think she won those rounds. So it should be 2-2 right now. But I did say split decision after 3 rounds because I'm sure there's one judge that gave Namajunas 2 of the 3 rounds and then gave her this one. So if that's right, one judge has already got Namajunas winning. Ribas is going to have to win over the other 2 judges. The third one doesn't matter because I think he's got Namajunas up 3 rounds to 1. But Ribas has got to win this round in both of the other 2 judges' minds to get out of here with a split decision victory. Now Rose yelling, "I'm the best," which is what she was yelling on the way to the octagon. And you got to give her credit. Moving up 10 pounds in weight, which is a lot if you weigh 115 pounds. Might as well double that for most guys, right? 180, go up to 200. That's a lot of weight to carry. But Rose is doing it. Round 5 is underway. And this is an opportunity for her to get ranked in 2 divisions. Oof. Some big leg kicks by Ribas. First 20 seconds here. And the pace definitely picking up, as you would expect in round 5, especially in a round that both fighters need to win. You got Ribas. Ribas faints. Like, she faints. And Namajunas just throws quick jabs that she's not trying to land. Just trying to keep you off balance. So they're doing it in 2 different ways with the same strategy. 1 minute gone. 4 minutes left in the fight. Ooh, big spinning back fist. Nearly lands for Ribas. But Namajunas didn't even flinch. So as you look at what some of the people think, 39-37, Doug Rose. Yeah. That's the fear. Is Ribas might have already lost this fight if she can't get the finish. Seems like everybody has a 39-37 for Rose. Then you got another guy earlier. After 3, it was 30-27 Ribas. So you just don't know what the heck to believe. I think in some of these close rounds, these judges are going to give it to Rose. I think your big name helps you in those situations. 2:45 left in the fight. And even though it seems like Rose has taken over this fight, especially with the ground game in rounds 3 and 4, even with all that, Amanda Ribas has shot over Rose Namajunas in terms of significant strikes, 87-82. She's up 159-144 in total strikes. Leads in head strikes. The only category she's down is body strikes, and it's 35-19. And she's down in control time. So just a really close fight. But the stats are just the stats. It doesn't always mean the refs are looking at or are comparable to the stats. They're watching the fight and giving winners round by round. 140 left in the fight. Ribas' eyes getting big now. She's really trying to pick up the pace, but you also got to be careful of the power of Doug Rose. But Ribas definitely picking up the pace in terms of touching Rose. The other thing I noticed too is that Rose is really slowed down in terms of the striking, in terms of the activity. And again, it's carrying that extra weight will do that to you. 115 left. And Ribas continues to move well. Although it's a close fight, she has done a good job of keeping Rose off balance enough to where she can't keep coming forward. I mean, Ribas is throwing jabs, combinations, spinning back fist, spinning leg kick. Just keeps throwing the kitchen sink at her and just tries to keep her off balance. And it somewhat worked. And she's pulling away now in the striking department. On the verge of 100 significant strikes. Yep, and she lands it. 101 now. Okay, get it round by round. Namajunas led in the first 2 rounds before Ribas has taken over in rounds 3, 4, and 5. But the scoring isn't necessarily going to portray that among the judges, because it doesn't seem that way. It seems like Rose started to pick up her pace in rounds 3 and 4 when, excuse me, on paper, it's the other way. So I don't know, man. This fight goes to a decision, 101 to 86. Amanda Ribas, significant strikes, 175 to 148. Total strikes, she led 53 to 44 in head strikes. Then it goes the other way. Rose, 36 to 20 in body strikes, 7 minutes of control to 140. And as we've seen in almost every other fight, the striking takes over. Even though one fighter gets like 6 to 8 minutes of control time in a 25-minute fight, that doesn't matter. The striking takes over. But when I watched the fight, if I looked at the stats at the end, I would be surprised, because it looked to me like Rose outstruck her, but that's not the case on paper. And a big and interesting decision coming up. Both fighters in the center of the octagon, they're both smiling. Ribas thinks she's got the win. I mean, she looks confident. Namajunas is smiling too, although she looks a little more concerned. And I don't think anyone knows which way the judges are going here, including myself. Here we go. Credit Rose Namajunas regardless. Coming up, fighting very well. Just tough because you're fighting, you know, it's a much bigger fighter. Here we go. Come on. Gosh. 49-46, 49-46, 48-47. Unanimous. Wow. Doug Rose gets the win. No, bro. Wow. The numbers don't indicate that. Dang, bro. But Rose Namajunas gets the win in her second attempt at a women's flyweight division. You know she's got to love this. She's going to be ranked top 10 in 2 divisions. And we fall to 4 and 6 in the main event. Wow. Rose Namajunas is now 13 and 6, women's flyweight division, UFC Vegas 89. So, yeah, man. We fall to 6 and 7 on the night, 4 and 6 in the main event. And this is about to become a serious topic, because this is the worst start we've ever gotten off to in the last 4 years since we've been tracking it. But we'll rebound. Next week is no joke with Manny Fioro and Aaron Blanchfield. Oh my goodness. We got to figure this thing out. Great night of fighting. Things heated up at the end of the night too with the KOs. And then you get into the co-main event, main event. They both go to a decision. So, you know, it drags out till past 1 a.m. That's how it goes. But listen, we appreciate y'all sticking with us. Rose Namajunas won. Your boy Chris Cross was wrong. And everybody's running around behind the scenes now trying to run stats and panicking. But I'm not panicking. You know, We'll go on a run at some point, like we always do. But this year's just been a lot tougher. As they say, you can't win them all. But you can get up the next day with the sun. And that's what I'll do tomorrow. For now, this is your boy Chris Cross. Hope y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. God bless. Peace.